Well, this is a very unique time in history where people get canceled for saying what they believe, maybe their convictions. Well, today we're going to talk about just that, why I'm getting canceled and people like me. Now, I'm going to show you some great examples of what's going on. And the sad thing is, it's going to keep on happening to a point where it's going to affect you and anyone who has convictions about living a life that's not just the status quo, the typical American. Traditional values are being canceled. Let's jump into it today and how it impacts you and your family. This video starts right now.
Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. I don't know if you can hear the geese. We've got about 30 or 40 geese just hanging out in the lake today. I guess they just found a place to bed down. We always tend to have a group of geese that come in and lay eggs and have goslings, and then they fly off, and then we won't see them again till this time next year. So it's kind of cool to see them. They're beautiful. They kind of make a mess, so it doesn't hurt my feelings that they're not here forever. But if you hear them, that's them. They're beautiful. I love seeing them on the water. So welcome to our channel. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of the channel. When you give us a thumbs up, it helps us stay relevant and helps us share our message across this platform, because that's a big deal, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So what am I talking about with me and others like me being canceled? So a few examples, and then we're going to talk about how it implements you. Now, us in the conservative realm, I'm a Christian conservative. I homeschool, I raise my own food, and I tend to talk about conservative issues online. That's a lot of things that goes against the status quo. Now, we would call that a traditional American, or we would call that a Christian conservative American, or someone who just wants to see a conservative viewpoint, kind of like we've always had. We'd be pro-freedom, pro-liberty, and pro-Christianity, and pro-America. If you hear the terminology, especially when they talk MAGA, you know, why are we so against someone saying "Make America Great Again"? Let's think about that just for a second. We're so against that because what insinuates pro-American values, conservative views, husband-wife marriages, and a sovereign border. I mean, that's really what it stands for. It doesn't even stand for really fiscal conservatism. Trump could have been a lot more fiscally conservative than what he was last time around. I'm just saying, why is that such bad things? So we already see a targeting towards conservatism in a way, not only just from the liberals, or not only just from the media, but also from the establishment Republicans, the more centrist Republicans. So you're already going to feel a little bit more persecution. Let's talk about Trump for a second. You know, the whole battle that he's in with New York, and he's got a $355 million lawsuit against him, basically. Do you realize right now, go to Realtor.com, go to Zillow.com, type in Palm Beach, type in Miami, type in any part of that part of Florida, and say houses for sale, and put most. You know, meaning it sorts it to the highest value first. There's land on there worth $200 million that's just a few acres. There's homes on there worth 100 to 200 or 300 million. And they're not even a tenth of the size of Mar-a-Lago. So the value of Mar-a-Lago, if you look on the basis of that area, would be over $750 to $1 billion. Do your research. So what I'm saying is they're targeting Trump based on a false accusation. And guess what? They're winning because no one's standing up. Now let's talk on our level, because this is where it matters. I did a video not too long ago, and I told you this. I've been pretty much out of the algorithm here and really having to build back up, because I made a video about food sustainability and the fact of what sometimes this does to us. And then I started getting censored. I wasn't telling any of my opinions at this point. This was all research data that has come out to be true. But because the narrative didn't fit what they're wanting it to fit, I started seeing my numbers dwindle drastically. And not that it may matter to you, but when our numbers went down by half, we're down by half compared to what we were just a few months ago. It really affects the way they pay you, the way your advertisers look at you. So therefore, it makes it harder for someone who does not have another job. Like I have another job, so it allows me still to do YouTube on the side. I'm a workaholic, so you know, I'm on the farm. I'm still doing videos because I'm not so dependent on the videos being made. However, I've lost advertisers. I've not been able to get some contracts. There's some stores and some companies that will not sponsor our videos because of the conservative narrative and the fact that we believe in a Christian conservative outlook on life, a traditional American way. Now, it's amazing that some companies would say, we don't want your money, or we don't want anyone supporting you or supporting, any kind of business. You would think they just want to make money. But instead of that, they have a narrative that they want to drive home. So just like Trump's MAGA situation that is now being canceled, just like the fact that people like us that's on YouTube that's maybe speaking a little bit more truth and against some of the narratives, you're going to see more persecution on that. Now, let's go a little deeper. There was a push against Christianity. Listen to this. The attack on the church, not only worldwide, but in the U.S., is up 800% in the last 6 years. Do you think that's coincidental? Or do you think it's the fact that the church is standing up, true churches stand up against the narrative and against the ideology that says that you can be whatever you want no matter what you're born with? That's wrong. So we believe in maybe, traditional marriage. We believe in the fact of a boy is a boy, a girl is a girl. We believe in Jesus. We are Christians. So we're seeing attack there, but it's because I think our media has kind of downplay the fact of what the church role is, what traditional Americans look like. They all say, well, they're just extremists. They're not, they're not even relevant anymore. The church and the Christians used to be a pretty big voting block, and now they're not so much. But it's because we've lost our luster. We've kind of put ourselves too much in the world, I believe. So therefore, now that we're standing back up, now that there's some conservative Christians that are saying, this is how we believe, we're being persecuted against. And we're also going to see more and more cancellation. And here's how they do it. Trump's Christian nationalist group are full of radical ideas, such as the nuclear family. Okay, that's a headline. Listen to what New York State is putting out. New York State is about to eliminate parental consent for medical decisions, meaning we believe that your children are smart enough to make their decisions on their own without parental consent. Well, as a Christian, we believe father, mother, home. We believe that they raise their children. They know what's best for their children. Homeschooling, the way we educate them in things such as sustainable living, not eating trash food, not putting things like medicines in your body for just no reason. However, now, if we allow our kids to go to school because we're having to work, because we can't afford to live, now New York State and California are both saying, well, if your children want this kind of medical attention, if your children want to do this to their bodies, if your children want to make these adult decisions, we won't even concern the parents. The parents have no rights over that child. So you see how now they're taking the rights away from parents based on the fact that, well, your views are a little radical. I mean, you want a husband and wife and you try to teach them this Christian conservative views, traditional American views, that's a little much. So we believe as the school system and the state, we know more than you. So they're taking your rights as a parent away. So you're getting canceled too. The question is, how long can we homeschool? I wonder that. Right now, Mississippi, for instance, where I'm at, has a pretty laxed policy on homeschooling. But I know there's several states that are pushing harder against homeschooling. Well, why? Well, because it's pushing against what they're trying to teach most children by indoctrinating them in educational programs through public education. So I believe you're going to see more rain down on homeschooling, on private education, because they're not pushing those narratives that they're pushing in the school system. The more we don't teach history, the more that we can bend the rules and change the narrative of what true history is. Here's what I'm saying. For instance, there's a new program called Gemini. It's made by Google. It's one of their AI technologies, which again, I believe is going to be a fall of man, by the way. But go use Gemini. Well, I challenge you, don't use Gemini. Look at the data on Gemini. Anytime you were trying to look up references of historical people or historical groups of individuals, most of them were not of white descent. No matter if it was talking about British, no matter if it was talking about Vikings, no matter if it was talking about the founding fathers, they never actually portrayed them as white men. Now, no matter what color you are, red, green, blue, yellow, black, white, history is history. We can't change history, but we learn from history. Well, if all of a sudden we have AI generation and technology and trying to change history, then if we don't learn from history, then we're going to repeat the mistakes we made, but also we're not going to know actually what truth is. See, that's what they're trying to do. If they can cancel out traditional values and views, then they can construe you to believe anything. 25% of this generation believes that a male could be a female and a female could be a male. That is ludicrous to me. No other generation in time has felt that way. But because our school systems are allowing those policies to go through, and the parents are not being parents in the home because they're having to work and they can't raise their own children most of the time, and you have states thinking they could do a better job, then we're construing history, we're construing traditional values, and we're canceling what real American freedom and what real liberty and what real conservatism looks like. Now, there is fights against that. Elon Musk at Twitter and Truth Social, and there are Parler, Rumble. There are some great opportunities. However, they still hardly cannot compete with bigger platforms. If you open a general window on YouTube or you open a general window on Facebook, they're not going to show you conservative people in the algorithm. They're going to show you entertainment. They're going to show you left-leaning propaganda. Now, the thing is, if you're not knowledgeable enough to find truth and seek truth, you're going to believe whatever they tell you. Think of the news. If we just believe everything that the news media tells us, then we believe that everybody believes that a man could be a woman. We believe that there's not a lot of Christians out there and the church is faltering. We can believe that there's no such thing as traditional values anymore. We can believe that the school system knows better than you. We can believe that parents really have no rights. We can believe all that. So when people like us get on here and we talk and we try to convince you to go back to core conservative beliefs, go back to traditional American beliefs, understand where history is, we're going to see more and more cancellation. Now, how does it affect you? Well, your children. Well, your family, your structure. So what can you be doing? Well, I think you can do like we talked about. Try to homeschool if you can homeschool. If you're not able to homeschool, then you better be doing all you can to let your children know what history is and also how you believe. Also, try to get your family in a good, strong church. It's not about indoctrinating you into faith, but I promise you, if you give church a chance, real church, it will impact your life and you will see a different outlook on the world. You'll have hope again. Because if you look at our world and you see all the bad news, it doesn't look like we're very hopeful of anything. But again, I believe that if we go back to traditional views, we go back to a nuclear family in the homes, we go back to a structure to where people can raise their children in a loving way, teaching them skills, teaching them how to raise food, teaching them to fish and hunt, teaching them to do more things than just go to school, go to work, get debt, and live a life in the city. If we teach them more and we let them understand really what the American dreams are about, I believe that we would see a major reset, and it'd be a reset in the right way. I wouldn't call it a reset, I'd call it a revival, a revitalization. You know, we have a downtown, and our downtown looked dilapidated. And then a few men came in and they revitalized it. And now business is booming downtown. It looks beautiful. It's awesome. Most small towns, you're starting to see kind of a revitalization in these southern towns. It's beautiful. It goes back to that look where it's like, oh wow, this is how it was back in the early 1900s. Oh wow, this is really cool how they've restored this building to make it back to its original way. And it's unique, it's awesome. Well, let's talk about that for us. If we would learn to revitalize our family and we love our children and show them what a father is, show them what a mother is, show them what true education is and history is, show them things that we should have already been showing them, then I believe we would impact the world and we would make a change, and America would be on a better path again. It's amazing that again we push against this Make America Great Again movement. We push against that. Why? Why would not anyone want America to be great? Why do you want to live in a country that's falling to pieces? Why would you want to make Mexico great again in America? Why would you want to make China great again in America? Why would you want to make Russia or Ukraine again great again in America? It makes no sense. But if they can make you believe that we've got to fund Ukraine, if they make you believe we got to do this or that, the more you hear it, the more you believe it. So therefore, the more they get you in public schools, the more they silence people like me, the more that they can hush people like the Trumps up, the Viveks of the world up, the more they can make you believe anything they want you to believe. And then therefore, they can make history be whatever history needs to be. Such as AI generation, we can change it all. And then therefore, your children know nothing. They believe that everybody's non-binary, and they believe that You could be whatever you want to be. If you want to be a dog today, be a dog. If you want to be a girl today, be a girl. If you want to be a boy today, be a boy. And that is false. So stand on truth, stand on principles, stand on morals, stand on values. Raise your children in the best way you know how. Raise your grandchildren in the best way you know how. And try to seek peace, joy, and hope. True hope comes in Christ. No matter how you're prepping, no matter what you're going through, Christ is always the answer. And I believe that's what we're going to get canceled more for. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because if we have joy and hope in Christ, then it's all going to be okay. Love your family, love your neighbors, and try to grow in a way that is looking for revival and revitalization. That's the reset we need. Not what we're getting portrayed in America. Not what we have right now in America. The movement to cancel people like Trump, the movement to cancel people like us, conservative people, it will probably happen. But if you can stand on truth, you can become the shining light, especially for your neighbors, your friends, your community, and your family. That's what matters. And that's how we change the world. One family at a time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video. Again, share this because it does help us get our message out, and it means the world to me that you do that. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.